Welcome back to the Reader's Corner here on Dreamers Defy. We are currently reading Vengeful. We are up to chapter 28 today. If this is your first time here, I would invite you to please go back to the introduction video, start there, and catch up to us. Shouldn't take too long. It's a good read, and we will wait for you. There is also a disclaimer there, as I'm going to give here, that there are sensitive subjects in this story, and you do need to be aware of that before we get going. There's also adult language and those types of things, as do happen in books and novels and movies and things of that nature. Anyway, we are on to chapter 28 today. So let's get this going. Man, this is so much going on. I can't wait to see how this is wrapping up. What is going on? Vengeful by AJ Parnell, chapter 28. A quick note. A few hours before dawn, a disheveled Landon stood inside Luke's office. He carefully slipped a small note into one of his brother's manuals, then tucked the textbook safely back underneath several other books that rested at the corner of his desk. That's all I can do. Snagging his coat off the back of his chair, Landon grabbed Luke's car keys, gave the room another once-over, and stepped out into the hallway, locking the door behind him. Turning, Landon skidded to a stop, having just about crashed into Rogers. The older detective stood, a suppressed smile on his face, leaning against the wall next to his door. Holding up one hand, Rogers took a step back. "You're a hard man to catch." Obviously not hard enough, Landon thought. "You're up early." "Actually, haven't been to bed yet." Radar up, Landon knew this man, unlike his nerdy partner, was a threat to him. Not only did he have years of training, but he also seemed to have some serious instincts that at the moment just really pissed him off. "Pulling an all-nighter without your shadow?" Rogers shrugged. "Kid needs his sleep." Giving Landon a once-over, he added, "I'm guessing you don't, considering you're up here hours before your class starts." Treading lightly, Landon knew he had to be careful. He was so close to making his break. He did not want to blow things for himself or for his brother. There was a lot at stake. And to be honest, he really didn't want to have to kill this man. Not unless he had to. "Couldn't sleep, so I thought I'd come get some work done. Go running, take a shower, then come back in." Rogers smiled as he straightened. "Guilty conscience, Professor?" Okay, maybe he did want to kill him. He was really becoming a pain in the ass. "No, just a lot on my mind. Could I help you with something? Are you looking to continue your education? Need help choosing a few classes?" Shoving both hands in his pockets, Rogers huffed. "Martinez was right. You are funny, in an irritating kind of way." "Thanks, I guess. Look, detective, I've told you everything I know. Been as cooperative as I possibly could." "Then why the cat and mouse games?" Offering Rogers a crooked grin, Landon snarked. "Because I love cheese?" "Professor, Wanting to end this little battle of wits, Landon told the man what he hoped he wanted to hear. "Fine, look." Landon motioned toward the window at the end of the hall. The wilted flowers piled up high outside the door, decorating the memorial. "With everything that's happened, with all I'm still going through, can't you understand that I'm tired of being forced to relive this nightmare over and over again? Each time I think about my relationship with Abigail, the person I most associate that horrible day with, it just steals another piece." More tired than he had been in a very long time, Landon closed his eyes and laid his head back against the door. "Another piece of my soul. I don't want to keep going through this for the rest of my life. Can you understand that?" Suddenly uncomfortable, Rogers studied his shoes. "I can, but..." Clamping down on his irritation, Landon asked, "But what?" Rubbing his jaw, Rogers pinned Landon with a look. "You've been withholding information. Information that could help us with the case." His frustration bubbling over, Landon threw both hands in the air. For Christ's sake, about what? As soon as the words were out of his mouth, Landon regretted saying them. Again, he knew this man was smart. He could not afford to lose his composure anywhere near him. By the hard look that Rogers was giving him, it might already be too late. Not backing down, Rogers continued. It would seem that you have failed to mention that you have a brother. The hell does that? Landon started to defend himself, or more importantly, Luke. An identical twin brother, in fact. Shit. By the hard look Rogers was giving him, Landon feared he might have already figured out the switch he and Luke had made. Mind racing, Landon reasoned, the guy could just be fishing. He couldn't prove anything. He and Luke had been careful, more than careful. Their plan was bulletproof. Rogers had to be bluffing. Well, he could bluff too. Talk to the DEA much, Detective? Unashamed, Rogers nodded. Now and then, over a beer. You can imagine my surprise when I learned that my friend over in narcotics has been trying to bust Landon Bolton down in Old Mexico, a.k.a. brother to Luke Bolton, my suspect here in New Mexico. Feigning indignation, Landon straightened up. I see, because my brother's a criminal, that makes me one by proxy, right? So what, you making me an official suspect? Rogers shrugged. I call it more of a person of interest, especially in the case of twins. Fuming, Landon wanted to grab the cop's gun and pistol whip him with it. Luke had been through enough hell. His brother did not deserve this crap, and it was up to him to make sure there was no more fallout because of that bitch. Thinking before he spoke, Landon took a calming breath, soothed his rattled nerves, and gave the detective an honest answer. Landon had nothing to do with Abigail Davies' disappearance. Let Rogers study him for any telltale signs of lying, and he would not find any because he was telling the truth. And how would you know that? I don't. But why would he risk coming here to harm a woman who's done nothing to him? Rogers offered him an understanding smile. Maybe, but I have a feeling Landon might be inclined to hurt someone that had wronged you. The man wasn't wrong. Landon had wanted to put a hurt on Abigail, but Luke had made him swear not to. And out of the few codes of honor he actually still held to himself, keeping his word to Luke was one of them. Landon knew I loved Abigail. He would not have hurt her because I asked him not to. That seemed to satisfy Rogers, yet he pressed on. Did you know that on top of his drug dealings, your brother is also involved with identity fraud and money laundering? Maybe Landon didn't want to hurt Davies. Perhaps he was helping her. Taken aback, Landon shook his head. I can't even begin to imagine where this conversation's going. Some things have come to light that have made me believe Miss Davies may not be missing. What? She may have skipped town. As a former patient of hers, you're more than likely going to be contacted by her facility, letting you know that her credentials and identity were made up. Holding back a laugh, Landon asked, You're saying Abigail Davies is a fraud? Once again, Rogers shrugged, dug his hands deeper into his pockets, and fixed Landon with a look. Again, until we finish our investigation, I'm leaving all possibilities on the table. So if you put your former lover in touch with your brother in order to help her evade the police, you need to tell me. What? Landon asked, not able to disguise his surprise. I know you fancy yourself in love with her, but you need to also understand that she may be a danger to you or anyone who she feels threatened by. At a loss for words, Landon stammered. I'm telling you, Detective, I don't know where Abigail is, and as far as I know, my brother Landon has never met her. All right, then. Rogers turned to go and called over his shoulder. Like I said, her facility should be reaching out to you, but you didn't hear it from me. Mute, Landon watched as Rogers made his way down the hall, slipped outside, and disappeared from sight. Damn, that didn't go as expected. What if Rogers was right about Abigail? Could his brother be in danger? If so, how the hell was he supposed to find him? And that ends chapter 28. Did you see that twist coming? Rogers definitely knows they're twins. I don't think he's onto the switch yet. Maybe he is. I don't know. We'll see. He's a good detective, don't you think? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. We'll be getting to chapter 29 here real soon. Man, it looks good. I like it. Vengeful by AJ Parnell. Go down below in the description. You can see the link. You can go get your very own copy over on Amazon. Yeah, soon we'll have some autographed copies for you in our store. We'll catch you next time here on the Reader's Corner on Dreamers Defy.